Hi, a very warm welcome to Touch Shelf Collectibles. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. So there's hundreds of videos on the Pleasure Beach, and certainly I've put a few on there over the years. But I thought this time I'd walk around the outside of the Pleasure Beach. It's quite an interesting walk, there's lots to see, and yeah, I'm actually in the Pleasure Beach tomorrow. One of my favourite things to walk around the outside, obviously not as good as being in there, but still nevertheless pretty good. Just while the big one climbs up the lift hill, I'll just show you over here. I don't know if you can see just on the horizon there, that's the mirror ball sculpture that's on the seafront. There goes a big one climbing up the lift hill. So I did a recent video you may have seen on the Grand Prix ride, which is closed. I know I should mention that a couple of weeks ago this lost its title as the tallest roller coaster in the UK. That's now gone to Thorpe Park with Hyperia. Although Hyperia's not open yet, it's just a few feet taller than the big one. Obviously there's a lot of conversations over the height of the big one, where it's measured from, but it's generally recognised as 235 feet, although it's a I don't believe that's measured from the ground. I think that's measured from sea level. But anyway, that's for another video. Right, let's start walking from here. So I'm on the corner with the Boulevard Hotel in front of me, and obviously the big one, Lift Hill, just behind it. This is the newest of the hotels that the Pleasure Beach own. On the site here beforehand is the Star Pub. We quite enjoy going in there, sitting underneath the Lift Hill of the big one, getting a beer before going into the Pleasure Beach for the evening rides. There's a bit of road, this one. So the Boulevard's been open a few years now. I've stayed there once. It was okay. It was okay. It's a very high-end hotel, and I think my preference is Big Blue. Each to their own. I just happen to like the Big Blue, and it suited us as a family a little bit better than the Boulevard. I mean, I don't want to put the place down, but we had a lot of trouble in the restaurant, and yeah, it wasn't great. Anyway, this is the car park entrance to the Boulevard, and you can see here we've got these two bridges. So the wooden one, the white one, I'm just going to zoom in, that's the Big Dipper. Big Dipper there, perfect timing. I zoomed in just as the big one went past, and you just seen the Big Dipper. So this was one of the original gates to the Pleasure Beach, and you can see the archway being built over the entrance for the Big Dipper that opened 100 years ago. And when they put the big one in, they've coming out, they've replicated the arch. You've got the two arches there, and you just see in the background there the Icon roller coaster, newest addition to the Pleasure Beach, right there. Big Blue Hotel, it says up there, founded in 2003. I've been staying here quite regularly since it opened. It's certainly not the cheapest hotel in Blackpool, but I like it nevertheless. It suits me, and always enjoyed staying there. And the best thing about it is the rooms on the back of the hotel overface the park. So if you ask for a park facing room, I mean they sometimes do charge a premium in the high season for them, but if you ask for a park facing room, you get a fantastic view of the Pleasure Beach. Indeed, if you have a look on the channel, you'll see that there's a video where I just have a quick look around the room and see what's there. One thing to keep in mind if you are coming up to Blackpool, a lot of the car parks now are charging, there's £15 a day. It seems to be a pretty flat fee across the entire place, and not every hotel has parking and a lot of the roads now are residence parking. So yeah, plan for your parking.
Possibly.
You see the hotel continues around the corner here. This bit at the end, this is was an extension. The hotel was so successful they extended it. Hotel's still going. There's some nice suites in the hotel at this end. It's, with a nice fireplace in the room. Fantastic after, especially during the illuminations, to come back to the room with the door open slightly, watching the last of the rides, the evening rides and the lights, and yeah, very nice atmosphere. Just at the end here we can see the final helix of the big one. That's just gone down the lift hill, so it should be back in a couple of minutes. We'll just keep walking around a little bit. This is, you can see here the block brake for the big one. Used to run 3 trains when it first opened, and then they had a couple of little bumps in the station, and now it only runs the 2 trains. It doesn't really need the block brake so much. But all of this new track, all you can see it just in front of the hotel, that was all replaced a couple of years ago, and they're working their way around. They're doing about 300 feet every year. Here it comes. Round into the helix. At this point it disappears down behind the wall, through a tunnel. It's actually one of the old railway tunnels that it goes through. Pleasure Beach Express used to go in the alternative direction. It used to have several routes it could choose, and yeah, it used the tunnel that was then given up for use of the big one. I think what I might do is cross over the road and get a better view of what's behind the wall. I don't know what the people thought who live in these houses when the big one was built here. I guess Pleasure Beach has been here 125 years, so I guess it wasn't too much of a surprise. You can hear the lift hill from the steeplechase. That's the where you ride horses around a roller coaster track. There goes the big one again. Just going around the helix. You see this wonderful head chopper moment as it goes through Nickelodeon Street. Sadly, I've not seen Nickelodeon Street go round today. I hope it does. Yeah, it's a clearer shot there of the Space Invader building. Mainline railway here into Blackpool South coming in just next to me. You can see over the back there the avalanche ride. Just climbing the lift hill. Oh, and Revolution, look at that for a perfect shot, both of them next side by side. yeah, it's a real shame that's not running today. It's great for the camera because you can, obviously it disappears down behind the wall, so you see the train appear, then disappear, then reappear, and it's a great thing to film, and not a lot of people will see it unless you park your car around here. It's not really somewhere where you'd kind of venture, I guess, so yeah, shame it's not running. I'll see if I've got some vintage footage. I certainly filmed it before. I'll have to take a look. A good bit of driving. Right, so we're just coming up on Watson Road. This was built intersecting the Pleasure Beach many moons ago. I just cross back over for a moment. I can, yeah. Just make sure it's safe. Now, so again, the orange coaster here, Nickelodeon Streak. If I just cross over the road without getting run over. Now, the lift hill of it is actually part of the Velvet Coaster. And the Velvet Coaster, one of the very early rides at the Pleasure Beach, actually came towards me where I am. It twisted across Watson Road and it was demolished when the road was built. But the lift hill was reused and still exists here on the Nickelodeon Streak, or roller coaster, as I could say anyone of my age would call it. Here we've got the ice arena, and there's access into the ice arena from Watson Road here, and you can see there the sort of tunnelway that goes through. And if you're actually in the Pleasure Beach, you climb up a hill or some steps and walk across, obviously, over the top of the road, so you don't have to cross the road. There's no crossing there. Years ago, when the Pleasure Beach opened, there was access in from Watson Road. You could walk straight onto the railway station. You could walk straight into the queue line for what it was then, roller coaster. And yeah, all of that's gone now. Right, over here we have the Grand National. Still one of the best wooden roller coasters in the world, if getting a little bit rough at the moment. And over the back here, anybody remember these? So there was three main guys on the Pleasure Beach back in the 90s. You had Jeffrey Thompson, who was the owner. You then had JR, Jim Rowland, who sort of did the day-to-day running, and you had Keith Allen, who was JR's sort of second in control. And these little caricatures were made of the three guys and put round in the kids area. So I think this is the only one that exists now. This one's obviously of Keith Allen, but it sits on the corner here just by the Grand National. I know on our way in last night, the family was saying to me, "What on earth is that?" And I was explaining, as I've just explained to yourself. Yeah, there were caricatures. Let's just cross back over the road. Yeah, it's a shame Nickelodeon Streak's still not running. Here comes the Grand National. Racing roller coaster, the Mobius loop, which means you start on one side and when you get back to the station you're on the opposite side of on the opposite track. And each of the drops are named after fences. Got Valentine's there, Beaches Brook. There you go. As I say, a great ride. As I've gotten older, it's yeah, I can't manage so many ride after rides or sequential rides because yeah, it does take a toll on my back. It's yeah, quite a violent ride. even when it is running very smoothly, it's quite a violent ride, and as I say, it's a little bit out of service at the moment, or at least it was last year. I haven't ridden it this year, so you never know, there may be an improvement there. Yeah, the railway line is just running next to me, the trains. The main Blackpool station is towards the back of the town now. It used to be sort of quite close to where the tower is, and they've moved it now, and it's right over the other side. That's the main line into Blackpool, but this line here just serves to the, the South Blackpool South Station. Absolutely marvellous structure, isn't it? Alright, just trying to make sure I've got this in shot as the Grand National goes around again. Perfect timing, waiting for it to come back round, and this van's just gone through. Lovely, lovely sound. Just carrying on walking down this way. This is all the buildings for maintenance on the Pleasure Beach, and I think it's this car park, over the back of this car park. Just cross over. You'll see the track that's been removed and replaced on the big one. Yeah, it's right over the back by that white van. I'm not going to walk over there. You can trust me that it's there. Yeah, just looking at that round building there, I think that's the old station from the Viking. I've never noticed that before. I don't know if that is. Yeah. Right, I just want to point out this row of houses here. Most of these have been converted into apartments, and we generally do stay in these now when we come up as a family, because quite a big family, and we stay in these apartments, which are pretty good and good value. Find them generally on booking.com, and they work out quite well if you've got a large family, and they're quite tidy inside, quite clean. So right, walking along Balmoral Road now, and this is just coming down towards the casino building and the seafront. So as I say, the apartments just behind me there. Just walk down this way. Over there you can see the side of Valhalla on the back of the Eclipse. Is it Eclipse Theatre? I think it is. I went in there years ago to see Mystique. That's where the Virginia Reel once stood. Just over there where that white building, or that white tent-ish building is. And just looking at the casino building, I can zoom in a little bit. You can see the funnel on the top there when the building was put up. The architecture's, I believe it's intended to look like a cruise ship. You see the funnel at one side and the mast, and you catch it at some angles and you can really see it in there. Fantastic building inside. I might try and get some shots later of the Paradise Room and the Horseshoe. But two sort of venues that are inside there. And in the basement is now the gift shop, which is quite sad really. There was a diner in there, sort of American themed diner doing milkshakes and things, and obviously it went out of fashion, so they've refurbished that area and put the gift shop in there. It's a very nice gift shop, but yeah, it's just a shame to see all the 1950s architecture torn out. Pleasure Beach is just closing, so a lot of people around. I'll try not to film people. Over the way there's the sandcastle, the swimming pool. The White Tower restaurant here, and Bean's coffee shop. And I mentioned the Velvet roller coaster as we were walking around. Well, that over there is the Velvet Coaster Wetherspoons, named after the roller coaster that was on the site.
Get your tickets now for the Evolution of Magic show.
Right,
now
I
playing
think
right
I'm just going to walk up here a little way. I'm not going to walk all the way to the other end, because the sort of roadside, this side of the Pleasure Beach, is filmed quite a lot by many people. Just walk up a little way. You see the signage is all changed on the front now. It's known as Pleasure Beach Resort. I don't care what they call it, it's always going to be Blackpool Pleasure Beach. And you see Mr. Funshine at the top there, and Noah's Ark in the background. I'd love to have seen that reopen, but sadly I don't think that'll ever happen. And then the arcade here, which I believe there's some plans for redevelopment. Can't wait to see what they're going to do there. So as I say, just up there's obviously some shops, a Pizza Hut and Ripley's, believe it or not. I'm not going to walk all the way back up. Anyway, we'll leave it there. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to check out the other videos on the channel, and if you can subscribe, I'll be very grateful. With that, we'll leave it there. So thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.